The Whispered File, the Ramensky hoax. In 1961, a dying man in the Soviet Union handed Communist Party officials something that made them weep. Handwritten letters from Vladimir Lenin himself, lost for decades, suddenly found in a family archive. No one questioned it. No one looked too closely. And for the next 24 years, Antonin Ramensky built an empire of lies on that single brilliant forgery. Ramensky was a retired party activist in his late 40s when he decided to become a ghost. He took to his bed, claimed a terminal illness, and invited Soviet journalists into his modest home to document what he said was a dying man's final gift to the state. His family had been teachers for generations, respectable people, with legitimate credentials stretching back to Imperial Russia. His great-uncle had even taught at the same school where Lenin studied as a boy. The connection was thin, but it was real enough to make the rest plausible. What he produced were Lenin's supposed personal letters, documents supposedly safeguarded by the family for decades. The forgeries were crude by any forensic standard. The penmanship was inconsistent. The paper had modern creases. But this was 1961, and Soviet expertise in document authentication was less rigorous than the party's hunger for relics of the revolution. The officials endorsed them. Experts verified them. Ramensky became famous overnight. But Ramensky didn't stop. Over 2 decades, he produced more and more artifacts, diaries, sketches, photographs, each one more grandiose than the last. He claimed his family possessed letters from Tolstoy, from early Bolshevik leaders, from figures of immense historical weight. And each time, he was bedridden, always dying, always fragile. Journalists came to his bedside like pilgrims. The Soviet state, it seemed, couldn't get enough. The machinery of verification never caught up with him because no one wanted to look too hard. To expose Ramensky would be to admit the party had been fooled. So the lies accumulated, layer upon layer, for nearly a quarter century. When Ramensky died in 1985, he took his secret with him, or so he thought. A year later, someone finally examined the documents with real scrutiny. The forgeries unraveled almost immediately. Everything collapsed. But here's the question that haunts this case. How many of his artifacts are still in Soviet archives today, still cataloged as genuine? How many historians built their work on Ramensky's lies? And how many more are still waiting to be discovered?